Imagine waking up every single day feeling busy, stressed, overwhelmed, and exhausted. You work hard, you stay busy all day, you check emails, you scroll social media, you make plans, you think about your goals, but deep inside, you still feel like your life is not moving forward. Days pass, weeks pass, years pass, and slowly you start asking yourself, where is my time going? Now imagine something different. Imagine waking up with clarity, knowing exactly what matters, knowing exactly what to focus on. No mental chaos, no constant distractions, no wasted energy, just focus, peace, discipline, and meaningful progress. That is exactly what the book Master Your Time by Thibaut Meurisse teaches. And trust me, this is not just another productivity book. This book can completely change the way you think about time, focus, discipline, habits, distractions, and even your entire life. So today, we are going deep. In this video, we will explore the biggest lessons from this powerful book. We will understand why most people waste their lives, why distractions are destroying focus, how successful people manage time differently, why discipline matters more than motivation, how habits shape identity, how to stop procrastinating, and how to finally take control of your life. So grab your notebook, remove distractions, and let's begin. The first and most important lesson from the book is simple. Time is life. Think about that carefully. Every second you spend is a piece of your life. Money can come back, opportunities can return, but time, once it disappears, it is gone forever. And yet most people treat time casually. They waste hours scrolling social media. They spend entire days distracted. They delay important goals. They live unconsciously. The author explains that people usually don't realize they are wasting life because time disappears slowly. One wasted day doesn't feel dangerous, but one wasted day becomes one wasted week. One wasted week becomes one wasted year, and suddenly, years are gone. That is why awareness is so important. The book forces readers to ask difficult questions. What are you doing with your life? What are you giving your attention to? Are your daily actions aligned with your dreams, or are distractions controlling your future? This part of the book is powerful because it creates urgency, not panic, not fear, but awareness. Most people live as if they have unlimited time, but life moves fast, and if you don't consciously control your time, somebody else will control it for you. Social media companies will control it. Entertainment will control it. Other people's priorities will control it. That is why mastering time is actually about mastering attention. Where attention goes, life goes. One of the most relatable sections of the book explains why so many people feel stuck in life. And honestly, this chapter hits hard. Because most people are not lazy. Most people actually want success. They want better health, better finances, better careers, better relationships. So why do they still struggle? According to the author, the answer is simple: lack of clarity. Most people don't truly know what they want, and when you don't know what matters, everything starts competing for your attention. That's why people become busy instead of productive. They react all day: notifications, messages, emails, meetings, random tasks, small emergencies. Their life becomes one giant reaction. But reaction is not creation. And this is where the author introduces an important idea. Busy does not mean productive. You can spend 10 hours working and still achieve nothing meaningful. Because productivity is not about activity, it is about progress. This is a huge mindset shift. The world celebrates busyness. People proudly say, "I'm so busy. I barely sleep. I'm working nonstop." But the author asks an uncomfortable question. Busy doing what? Are those activities actually moving your life forward, or are they simply consuming your energy? That question changes everything. Now let's talk about one of the biggest enemies of productivity: distractions. This chapter is honestly scary because it explains how modern technology is silently destroying focus. Think about your average day. How many times do you check your phone? How many notifications interrupt your thinking? How many times do you switch between apps, messages, videos, and tasks? Most people don't even realize how fragmented their attention has become. The author explains that every interruption damages concentration, and once concentration breaks, the brain needs time to refocus. This means distractions have hidden costs. Even small interruptions reduce creativity, focus, productivity, mental clarity. And the worst part? Modern apps are designed to keep you addicted. Social media platforms make money from attention, so their goal is simple: keep you scrolling, keep you distracted, keep you emotionally stimulated. That is why people feel mentally exhausted even after doing very little meaningful work. Their brain never rests. It constantly jumps from one stimulus to another. The author says something very important. Attention is one of the most valuable resources in modern life. And honestly, this might be the biggest lesson in the entire book, because whoever controls your attention controls your life. That is why protecting focus is essential. The author recommends practical steps: turn off notifications, keep phones away while working, create distraction-free environments, schedule focused work sessions, limit social media use. Simple actions but powerful results, because focus is becoming rare, and rare skills become valuable. Now here's where the book becomes transformational. The author explains that clarity creates power. When you know exactly what matters, decision-making becomes easier, focus becomes easier, discipline becomes easier, motivation becomes stronger. But without clarity, the brain feels overwhelmed. This is why confused people procrastinate. Think about it. Whenever you feel uncertain about a task, you delay it. But when the next step is clear, action becomes easier. The book encourages readers to define their goals, their priorities, their values, their ideal lifestyle. And this part is important. The author does not only focus on career goals, he talks about life goals, because many people become successful professionally while feeling empty personally. The book asks, what kind of life do you actually want? Do you want freedom, peace, creativity, financial independence, strong relationships, health, purpose? Without clarity, people chase society's definition of success and often end up unhappy. So the author encourages intentional living, not reactive living. Intentional living means consciously deciding how you spend your time, your energy, your attention, your life. That level of awareness changes everything. Now let's talk about the thing almost everyone struggles with: procrastination. One of the best things about this book is that it explains procrastination psychologically. Most people think procrastination means laziness, but the author disagrees. He explains that procrastination is usually emotional. People avoid tasks because they associate them with fear, stress, failure, difficulty, uncertainty. The brain naturally seeks comfort. That's why scrolling social media feels easier than working on difficult goals. The brain chooses short-term pleasure over long-term growth. But this creates a dangerous cycle. You avoid work, then guilt appears, then stress increases, then motivation decreases, then avoidance becomes even stronger. And slowly, procrastination becomes a habit. So what's the solution? The author says something powerful. Don't wait for motivation. Take action first. Because action creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation. This is extremely important. Most people think motivation comes before action, but oftenly motivation comes after starting. That's why the author recommends starting small, reducing perfectionism, focusing on progress, taking immediate action. Even tiny movement matters, because movement breaks resistance, and once resistance breaks, productivity increases naturally. This might be one of the most life-changing chapters in the entire book. The author explains that motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel inspired, some days you feel tired, some days you feel confident, some days you feel emotionally exhausted. If your success depends entirely on emotions, consistency becomes impossible. That is why discipline matters more than motivation. Discipline means doing what matters even when you don't feel like it. And honestly, this is where most people fail. They wait for perfect emotions, perfect energy, perfect timing. But successful people understand something important. Action must happen even without perfect feelings. The author explains that discipline is like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, confidence grows. Every time you follow through, self-respect increases, and eventually disciplined actions become automatic. This chapter also explains why routines are powerful. Routines reduce decision fatigue. Instead of constantly deciding what to do, habits take over. That saves mental energy, which improves focus, which improves productivity. The lesson here is simple. Successful people do not rely only on motivation, they build systems. The author repeatedly emphasizes one idea: your habits shape your identity. What you repeatedly do eventually becomes who you are. Small actions seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they create massive results. For example, reading 10 pages daily may seem small, but after 1 year, that becomes multiple books. Exercising for 30 minutes daily may seem small, but after 1 year, your body changes.
Your energy changes. Your confidence changes. The author explains that success is usually not dramatic. It is built quietly through daily habits. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. Most people chase motivation spikes. They start aggressively, then quit quickly. But sustainable growth happens slowly. The book recommends building habits gradually, not through extreme pressure, but through repetition. And another important point the author makes is this: environment matters. Your surroundings influence behavior. If distractions are everywhere, focus becomes harder. If unhealthy habits are easily accessible, discipline becomes weaker. That is why the author encourages designing environments intentionally. Make good habits easy, make bad habits difficult. Simple idea, massive impact. Now, this chapter is extremely important because many people think productivity is only about schedules. But the author explains something deeper. Energy matters more than time. Think about it. 1 hour with high focus and high energy can outperform 5 exhausted hours. That is why physical and mental health are directly connected to productivity. The book strongly emphasizes sleep, exercise, nutrition, stress management, mental recovery. Most people try to improve productivity while ignoring health, but exhausted brains cannot perform well. Sleep deprivation damages focus, memory, decision making. Emotional control stress weakens concentration. Poor health reduces motivation. The author explains that high performance requires recovery. Rest is not laziness. Rest is preparation. And honestly, modern hustle culture ignores this completely. People glorify burnout, but burnout destroys creativity. It destroys emotional balance. It destroys long-term productivity. That is why the book encourages balance. Not endless work, but sustainable performance. This chapter is simple but powerful. The author explains that one of the biggest reasons people lose control of their time is because they cannot say no. They overcommit. They agree to unnecessary meetings. They accept low value responsibilities. They prioritize other people's goals over their own. And slowly, their schedules become overloaded. The author says something important. Every yes is also a no when you say yes to distractions. You say no to your dreams. When you say yes to meaningless obligations, you say no to peace. Successful people protect their time carefully. They understand that attention is limited, energy is limited, life is limited. That is why boundaries matter. And honestly, this lesson alone can transform productivity because focus requires elimination. Not everything deserves your attention. One of the most beautiful messages in the book is the importance of simplicity. Modern life has become extremely complicated. Too many possessions, too many notifications, too many commitments, too many distractions, too much noise. And all this complexity creates mental exhaustion. The author encourages readers to simplify intentionally, simplify schedules, simplify goals, simplify environments, simplify digital life. Because simplicity creates clarity, and clarity creates peace. This does not mean abandoning ambition. It means removing what is unnecessary. Many people think happiness comes from adding more, but often peace comes from removing what drains energy. This chapter feels less like productivity advice and more like life wisdom. Because ultimately, the book is not only about achieving more, it is about living better. Another powerful lesson from the book is patience. Modern culture encourages instant gratification. People want fast success, fast money, fast results. But meaningful growth takes time. The author explains that small actions repeated consistently create extraordinary long-term outcomes. This is called compounding. Tiny improvements may seem invisible daily, but over years, they become life-changing. The book encourages readers to stop chasing short-term excitement and instead focus on sustainable progress. This mindset reduces frustration. Because real growth is slow, and that is normal. Successful people are usually not dramatically different from others. They simply stay consistent longer. That consistency creates mastery. One of the final lessons in the book is deeply important. Productivity should improve life, not consume it. Many people become obsessed with achievement. They work constantly, but forget to live. The author explains that success without peace is incomplete. True success includes health, relationships, freedom, purpose, inner peace. This is why intentional living matters. The goal is not becoming a productivity machine. The goal is creating a meaningful life. A life where your time reflects your values. A life where distractions no longer control your future. A life where focus replaces chaos. A life where daily actions align with long-term purpose. That is real productivity. So what is the biggest message of Master Your Time? The message is this: your life changes when you take control of your attention. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. Because every day you are either building your future or distracting yourself from it. The book teaches us that productivity is not about doing more things. It is about doing the right things with focus, with clarity, with discipline, and with intention. If you master your time, you slowly begin mastering your life. And honestly, that may be one of the most important skills anyone can develop in the modern world. So after watching this video, don't just feel motivated. Take action. Remove one distraction. Build one good habit. Protect 1 hour of focus. Start small, but start today, because your future is being created by what you repeatedly do every single day. And remember this powerful line: where attention goes, life goes. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. And comment below: what is the biggest distraction currently stealing your time? Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.